call the Utility Service Board meeting of July 13th to order.
Mission.
Our mission, yes. The CBU mission for City of Bloomington Utilities is to enhance the quality of life in our community by providing safe, sustainable, and high-quality drinking water, wastewater, and stormwater services in a cost-effective manner, promoting public health, economic vitality, and environmental stewardship. And our vision for our utility is for it to be the leading municipal water utility organization in Indiana. We'll start out with any petitions or communications from the public with us today. I see none, so we'll move on to the approval of minutes of our previous meeting of June 29th. Has everyone had a chance to take a look at the minutes?
I move that we approve the meeting minutes.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, the minutes are approved. Next is the approval of claims, and we have a long list of standard invoices. Any questions or discussion for the standard invoices for today? All right, ready for a motion then?
I move that we approve the standard invoices.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded to approve the standard invoices totaling $607,552.03. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries. Next then is utility bills in the amount of $194,326.88. Any discussion or questions on the utility bills?
I move that we approve the utility bills.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded to approve utility bills. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, utility bills are approved. Next is wire transfers in the amount of $662,312.11. Any questions or discussion there? All
Move that
right.
we approve the wire transfers.
All right, it's
Second.
been moved and seconded to approve wire transfers. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, the wire transfers are approved. Next is customer refunds for a pay date of July 17th. And the total on that is $4,535.68.
I move that we approve the customer refunds.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve customer refunds. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, customer refunds are approved. Next item on the agenda is the consent agenda with 4 items, it looks like, totaling $22,881.
Good evening, James Hall, Assistant Director of T&D. I'm pleased to present the consent agenda to you this evening, totaling $22,881. The first item is Siemens Industry at $17,459 for a variable frequency drive maintenance at Dillman Wastewater Plant. The second item is for Corson Fire and Security for $4,922. That's upgrading the intercom system and adding one and a 3-year subscription for 2 devices. And then the third is for Young's Trucking for $500 for lead paint disposal at Dillman Wastewater Plant. Would any board member like to pull any of these items from the consent agenda and discuss them individually? Hearing none, if there are no objections, then the consent agenda will be approved as presented. Hearing none, the consent agenda is approved as presented.
Very good, thanks, James. Our next item then is to request approval of the memorandum of understanding between City of Bloomington Utilities and Milestone Contractors. And Chris Wheeler is here to make the presentation.
Good afternoon, Chris Wheeler with City Legal. A while back, some heavy construction was performed on First Street. And a lesson I think that the Utilities Department has learned is that in advance of such construction, we should do well to run video down through our lines to see the condition of our lines, so that if any of our lines get damaged, we can point to those videos and say that our infrastructure is in good shape. If you looked at the MOU, you can see the gist of what we're looking at here is the fact that Milestone did the work. We've had a good relationship with Milestone over the years, but we thought it was more probable than not that Milestone caused damage to our infrastructure, because we did video everything after the fact and found that there are a couple of points along the line that have damage that appear to be consistent with heavy construction. Our understanding is there hasn't been any heavy construction on that road for quite a while, but we haven't videoed our infrastructure for quite a while either, and it's old. So it's difficult for us to be able to prove positive, point our finger at Milestone. They can't completely say they didn't do it. Litigation would likely be costly and time-consuming, and so we've reached this MOU, which we have subsequently changed the title to a settlement agreement. The settlement allows us to go in and do the work. Milestone will compensate us for half of what we anticipate the cost of the work to be, which seems like a pretty reasonable solution here. Milestone is also going to provide materials. We will be picking those materials up from one of their sites to bring over to First Street when we're working. The only issue that remains on the settlement agreement, I haven't been able to get a confirmation from the attorney that I've been working with, but Milestone seems to be okay with it in principle, is this idea that we're supposed to give 15 days advance notice of the work that we'd like to commence. Well, we're going to start tomorrow, so I'm still trying to communicate with the attorney. I haven't heard from her specifically, but we have heard from Milestone that they don't care, because we're going to be the ones picking up the material. The whole idea was give them 15 days so that they know that they can make their delivery, but they're not actually doing the delivery. So I don't think it's an issue. I am asking the board to approve the settlement agreement. If the 15-day thing becomes an issue, we'll have to work that out, but we're asking for approval of the settlement as it is written, which includes the 15-day notification at the time. I'm happy to answer questions.
Yeah, Chris, I'm just curious what the original project was with Milestone and CBU.
Well, there wasn't an original project with Milestone.
Oh, I missed
Milestone was working with the city, with the engineering department, to do reworking of the road itself. So they took the cap off of the road, all the asphalt, whatever materials, did reworking of the road, relayed asphalt and whatever else goes on. But our suspicion was that once they removed that protective layer of the road and then drove heavy equipment around it, likely they damaged our infrastructure.
So the original agreement was with city engineering, not our engineering. Okay, I got it. Thank you.
But it's still a good lesson learned. When
Yeah.
the city's doing work and we know they're going to be working over some of our infrastructure, we ought to be looking at it in advance so that when something happens, we're able to show a timeline that shows clean and healthy and then damaged.
So, how did the damage show itself?
Through a video that we ran through the line after the fact and found areas that are dimpled
But it-
where we can't get the camera through, which suggests that sewage isn't going to flow properly either.
So, did we know it because sewer wasn't flowing and that's why we did the videos? We just did it as a matter of,
I think we just did it as a matter of to check it at the end to see make sure that it was okay.
I see, so there was no leak, there was no,
No, there's no flow on there right now.
Flow at all on the line at the moment, but it's going to get you.
you know, I understand. So it would be difficult to prove in court, is what I'm saying.
Yes.
If there was a clear, they're there, they're doing construction, and all of a sudden there's a main break,
Yeah, I think
that would be
10 years or
easy.
something had passed since the last time that line was scoped, so,
Yeah.
we haven't been watching it closely for 10 years. We can't say proof
Yeah,
positive.
I get it, I get it.
So then, thinking about all these construction projects that we have going on around town, what constitutes, like, if we're gonna go check our line, because we know this isn't, to anticipate this is gonna be having work nearby, or what, how does, what? Yes.
Yeah, I think, like what Chris was saying, when they start removing, well, it depends on where they're removing that cap layer of asphalt and other surfacing material. Like on Second Street, they're doing a lot of that work, but they're over on the edge. They're not over top of our sewer. But that's something we should consider, even because there's a lot of trucks moving in and out of there, right? So I think that's kind of the threshold that we're at, is what kind of work is going to take place, how much of that top layer of pavement and surfacing material will be removed, and then when's the last video, right? If we have a video that's 2 years old, okay, maybe we don't have to go out there, but if it's 10 years old, then we should probably.
How do we get notified of the projects? I guess I don't think about, like,
Yeah.
projects that affect our lines that we're not doing, so how,
We have a lot of internal meetings with
Okay.
the other departments, with engineering and DPW. Is that monthly? Or
We have monthly meetings.
monthly meetings, and we kind of talk about projects that are coming up and areas that we're going to be at.
so then at that time you'll know, oh, we gotta go check this
Yeah,
site.
and they have timelines usually,
Okay.
like, look, we're looking to start construction in this date or this time, and
So have we done any of these checks since?
we haven't had a project yet that this came up, yeah. That met that kind of level. Again, that Second Street was close, because they are removing, partial parts of the road, but it wasn't over top of our sewer, so.
I understand this, and I know you said that we'll be doing the work, but it will be our crews and not a contractor.
Correct, yeah. We'll be doing it. And then the street department will be milling and repaving the road.
So it looks like there's some substantial additional costs that we're going to be doing here besides this reimbursement.
Most of it is in there.
Okay.
It's estimated at about $40,000.
$40,000, yeah. The milling and repaving that kind of came after we came up with this number from downtown, asking us, since the road is fairly new, that's kind of the standard, is that if you are going to cut into a road that's less than 3 years old, you'll mill the whole thing and repave it. So that was kind of factored in afterwards. Those quantities, though, of surfacing material is included in there that we're asking Milestone to provide. So we're just providing the labor for that.
Good. Any other questions for our attorney or staff? Discussion? All right.
I move that we approve the memorandum of, or the settlement agreement between the CBU.
Been moved and seconded to approve the MOU between CBU and Milestone. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Motion carries. Okay. Is there any old business from the board? Old business from staff?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and bring this up. We had talked about the rate case, and, James Hall, Assistant Director of T&D. We just wanted to officially announce that August 1st, the rate will be implemented for the customers at their new rates, depending on what kind of customer class they are.
Thank you. We're looking forward to all the projects that we're able to do with that rate increase and the support of our community, to see the betterment of our utility.
Is, I know that we've had some public announcement and that sort of thing about the what we'll be using some of the new funds for, are we inserting anything into the monthly bills to kind of talk about why this is important? What kind of projects we'll be taking on? Not everybody reads the city news releases, unfortunately, but
I don't know if we've had planned on doing that, but that's something we can do. We can look at kind of overall, like how much money we think we're going to spend at the water plant, how much money we project to spend on water main replacement. Those are kind of big numbers from the CIP that we could easily pull and put in in the memo of the bill and fit in there.
yeah, or a separate printed insert like we do. I know that's kind of short notice, but I don't know, you guys might be thinking about that already, but when people see a jump in their bill, they want to know why. And like I say, they may not be following social media or the news releases or whatever, but they will see their monthly bill. And I feel confident that the kinds of things we're going to be doing with the rate increase are things that they're interested in. We're going to maintain a safe water supply. We're going to make improvements to the plant. We're going to make improvements to our transmission distribution system. If we can get into some of those specifics, without getting into the technical details, but 5 or 6 points, that helps soften the blow a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Transparency like that just builds trust for a public entity, and
Yeah, I think we can definitely put a letter together, like an insert letter with some of the capital improvement projects at the plant and within the distribution and transmission system.
Be as simple as one of those little 1/3 8.5 by 11s that fits into the envelope. You don't want a whole fold over with all of that. That's more than they'll read probably, but.
But you could put that detail on the website.
Even it's just
As well.
as simple as saying, go to the website to see how your dollars are going to be at work, and put it out there.
You could do that too. There are a lot of folks who, I was dealing with a group the other day, and half of them didn't have email addresses. Some of our older customers, which is okay. They just communicate differently, but yeah, our job is to communicate reach the customer where we can. Thanks for the update, James. Any other old business? Okay, new business from the board.
This might be the time for it.
Yeah, we've got a change in our board.
Yes, so David Hiddle, who had been the City of Bloomington Planning and Transportation Director, has taken a new position in North Carolina, and we didn't get a chance to wish him well at his last meeting with us 2 weeks ago. He's served with us on our Utility Service Board for the last 2+ years and been a valuable contributor with his expertise, and so we all certainly wish him well in his new endeavors, and we'll miss having him here with us.
Thank you. Appreciate that. I'm glad we're able to get that in the record, thanking David for his service to the board and to the city. Thank you. Any new business from staff?
Oh, wait, sorry, I had one more question. Okay, I'm sure I'm not going to pronounce it right, the cyclosporasis. Is that something that is measured in our wastewater when we're doing other labs?
It is not correct.
Okay.
It is probably likely a large produce supplier, given the number of widespread cases, but we do not currently track it in our wastewater. It is a reportable illness in Indiana, but it is optional reporting at the federal level.
Okay, thank you. Should have just looked your way.
Appreciate that, Graham. And a good question, because a lot of folks are interested
Certainly, yeah.
right now. I'm glad we still monitor our wastewater for all kinds of different infections, and that's been a great help to the general public health of the community with the practitioners and hospitals and others that are able to keep an eye on what to expect to see. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Did I ask for new business from staff?
You did.
You good? All right. Subcommittee reports. Yes, the Finance Committee met.
Yeah, the Finance Committee met just before this meeting, and there were two items on the agenda. The first was an initial presentation of the 2027 budget, which will, I believe, go before City Council sometime in August, so we need before then, we'll have other meetings to update the proposal. This was just an initial one. I'll just give a couple of highlights. On the revenue side, the biggest change will be, as was just reported a while back, the new water rates. We finally did get approval from the Indiana Regulatory the State Regulatory Commission, and everyone will see a slight increase in their monthly water bill. On the expense side, there are several new expenses that will be taken into account. The first has to do with increases in the cost of gas and power and fuel, and I just can't help making my own comment again about that, I think we all know that the increase in fuel costs at the gas pump are due to the never-ending war in Iran, with Iran, and despite the increases, I just looked before the meeting today at the profits of oil companies for the second quarter of 2026, and they're record-breaking and blockbuster are the adjectives to describe it. So if you have any complaints about fuel costs, take it up with your politicians and with your oil companies. The other increase is due to a lot of the water main replacements that need to be done. I think you're all aware that water mains don't last forever, and if you leave them unattended, it ain't good. So we'll be doing a lot of those in 2027, so there'll be an increase in either hirings or overtime pay. The second item on the agenda was the quarter one and quarter two results for 2026. I think it was good news in the sense that the revenues were slightly increased by about 1% for each quarter. The expenses were under what we assumed they would be, by 25% in quarter one and 16% in quarter two, but it's likely that those expenses will catch up in the second and third quarter, and the third and fourth quarters. And I think that's about all I have to say.
Thanks, Jim, for the overview of the Finance Committee. We'll look forward to further discussion on the 2027 budget as more things are finalized. Okay, staff reports.
Yeah, I got a couple things. The first, we hired a new heavy equipment operator in T&D. His name is Ted Prince. He comes to us with lots of years of experience, and we're excited to have him join our team. And then the other thing that I have, other two things, congratulations and also sorrow for our T&D department. Paul Chasteen is retiring after 50-plus years with the utility. He was a engineering field tech. He started our CCTV program, the trucks monitoring the sewer and stormwater. And so that'll be a big loss for us. He's been in that position since I think he said 85, I believe, somewhere in there, 83, 85. And then The other person, he will retire on the 24th, so before our next board meeting, is Kevin Housel. He's one of my direct reports, one of my assistant superintendents. He's been here for over 40-plus years. Been a assistant superintendent for close to 20 years, so being on call every 6 weeks for 20 years. I really appreciate everything he's done for us and for the utility and the community. So we had a little party for them last Friday, so. I just want to thank both of those gentlemen. They didn't want to come here, but
That deserves a round of applause.
but that's all we have for the staff report.
Thank you. And I see that you do have a advertisement for a new AD, right?
Yeah, assistant superintendent, yeah.
Superintendent,
Yeah,
okay.
for Kevin's position, correct.
That's right, yeah. Great, thank you. Any petitions or communications from the public? I don't see any. All right, then we can stand adjourned.